Good afternoon. Something sweet is about to happen, except today it won't be sweet. It's going to be bread. I've been working on my bread skills for a while, trying to master yeast and the best ways to make yeast do its best. But I've also been working on sourdough. Sourdough is a completely different agent for rising and making bread light and fluffy. It's still yeast, but it's naturally fermented yeast. I started this journey a couple of years ago when a really good friend of mine, Jason, gave me a starter and instructions on how to feed it and nurture it and take good care of it. And over that time, I've learned a lot about sourdough. I'm certainly no expert, but I've learned a lot. I've fed and taken care of this starter and divided it. Now I have 4 starters. And I make the same kind of sourdough all the time. It's a round loaf that looks like this. It's a tough bread that is really good toasted with soups and things like that. I've been given a recipe for a sourdough sandwich bread that I've been promised is soft and fluffy and a completely different texture than the sourdough that I've been making. So I'm going to start that process today, but it takes a couple of days. So this video won't finish for a couple of days, but I'll post it when it does. So I look forward to taking you with me on this process of making this new kind of sourdough and seeing how it turns out. See you again in a few. The first step in the process of making this bread is to feed the starter. These jars are very messy looking. Sourdough starter is a messy business. Most of the time when we feed our starter, we take some out of the jar that we've been keeping in the refrigerator, put it in a clean jar and feed it, and the rest that's left is called discard. I do something that everybody doesn't agree with or like, but I do it because I keep my starter in the refrigerator and I don't bake every day or every other day. So sometimes I will feed my starter without discarding any, and that's what I'm going to do today. Starter is basically flour and distilled water that's been allowed to ferment. This is already fermented, but it needs more food. So we'll feed it more flour and more distilled water, and it'll get bubbly. You can see down in there, you can see how bubbly it is. And it's going to get even more bubbly as the feeding process happens. So what I will feed this starter is 50 grams. I'll use my kitchen scale. I will feed this starter 50 grams of distilled water and 50 grams of bread flour, not plain all-purpose flour, bread flour. People have very strong opinions about what kind of flour to use. I typically use Pillsbury bread flour. It has a higher gluten content, and it's what we need to make bread with. So that's what we'll use. So the first thing we will do is put 50 grams of water in this jar. All right. And we will stir it. Okay. I use a funnel that I also use when I can things, and it helps the flour to go down in there without getting everywhere. It can be pretty messy business. So I'm going to put this in, and then we will add 50 grams of bread flour. All right. So the food is in. We're going to stir it. And it will make it very thick and pasty because now it's got food to eat. We need to know when it has doubled in size. So we have a little rubber band. I don't know if you can see that. and we put it to exactly where it is right now, and then we watch it. It'll be an all afternoon process, and it should grow to be about this tall and all bubbly and frothy. So we're going to set that. I turn my oven on warm. I have a warm setting on my oven. I turn it on warm, and I set the jars on top of the stove, and I let it sit there. It gives it just a little bit more warmth. And then we'll come back when this has doubled in size. Have a great afternoon.